And keep that going for the poet from Macalester College. Please applaud for Dylan.
On afternoons at our old house, you'd limp over to me at the dining room table, pull a pen from your breast pocket and show me how with the right signs, you could make numbers disappear. And Dad, I'd seen your hands shake with anger, but the math, it made them steady, and you guided my fingers across ribbons of equations like they were the only conversation you really knew how to have. You had stories, though. And before I learned to sleep easy, you'd sit beside me on the blanket, and I'd fall asleep to the sound of your voice. But one night, you told me the story of your bad leg, and you built it up quietly. Like a late-night confession, you were hitchhiking west to Yosemite. Just the Marine who was driving, and you in the back seat. The night was cradling the hills so gently, you let the rhythm of the potholes count you down to sleep. So you didn't notice when the Marine rested his eyes for a little too long, didn't feel the sudden rush of his foot slumping against the pedal, didn't see the headlights shatter as they sliced through the barrier, the radio cut silent, replaced by screaming metal, the wheels whistling into the air. Dad, this was never any bedtime story, but it's still racing in my head tonight. I run through it on repeat like your car through that guardrail, but there's this spot in the story where my mind just stops for a second, where everything goes blank, like it would if you hadn't made it. And when I come back down, I am shaking, so I try to make the story simple, to use math like we used to. If the car flips once every 2 seconds, the cliff is 35 feet high, the trees are climbing upwards at 10 meters per second. At what point in the rotation will the ground catch you like an open palm? Afterwards, they said that lying down was what had saved you. The back half of the car was crushed neatly to the base of the windows, and when they pulled you from that tunnel of metal, you were cradling your knee in both hands like you were trying to comfort the bones back together. Dad, when Mom came to visit you in the hospital, did you know, as she helped you walk, that she'd still be helping you 30 years later, trying to piece together everything that's broken in you since then? The first time you took me driving, you shouted so loud, even the numbers on the dashboard couldn't stop my hands from shaking. But your eyes in the rearview mirror, they looked too much like my own, so I just stayed quiet and tried to see you the only way you ever taught me. If a man, age 50, gains 6 pounds each year, at what point does he grow so ashamed of himself he won't exercise in public anymore? At what point does the weight strain those already shattered bones? At what point does he spiral in on himself like crushed metal? At what point does a man in our family begin to break? Dad, when I finally drive west, will I lie down or will I sit back straight, eyes open, guardrail shattering around me, waiting to feel at home?
Give it up for Dylan from Macalester.